Hello everyone, welcome back to Crafts by the Bow. I hope you had a wonderful holiday and I'd like to wish everybody a really happy new year. Let's hope that 2022 brings us health and happiness and just a feeling of contentment. Today's card is going to be from the mini catalogue and this actually went live yesterday. So I've chosen two things. There's so many things in this catalogue that I love, but the ones that I'm going to use, and I'm going to use most of the month actually, are the Flowing Flowers stamp set, which, let me just get it, is this one. And I'm going to be casing this card too because I just love that. So I'm going to use that stamp set and then I'm going to use a paper that's from a different set. Let me just find where I put that little piece. I'm choosing a paper from the Heart and Home suite. I will be using this one, this whole stamp set in some different videos. It's just that at the moment this is on very low inventory, so I don't want to use it yet. I want to use it when people can actually buy it. So I'm going to use this paper though, the Heart and Home paper. And the card I'm going to make is inspired by my friend Shauna with Stamp Ventures with Shauna. She showed me how to make this quite a few months ago, and it's one where you get to see both sides of the designer series paper. And it's such pretty paper that I thought this was perfect for it. So here's the pack of paper, and it's almost like it's printed on canvas. I don't know if the camera will pick that up, but it's meant to look like it's on canvas. And each of the back sides has one design which looks like wood slats or wood grain, and that's the same for all the papers. This one is my absolute favourite, but I'm saving that. I don't want to use that one yet. But I am going to choose this one. It's got just the slats of wood across and then very pretty little flowers in fresh freesia and pale papaya. And what you need is a 4-inch strip. So I've cut, let me get my trimmer. I've cut a 4-inch strip and that makes it 4 by 12. You can only get 3 cards like this out of one sheet of paper. But they're so pretty and so easy to make that I think it's worth it. So check the orientation on your paper. We're going to use this as our front side and this as our coordinating side. So what I'm going to do is line up the 12-inch side and I'm going to score it at 5.5. Let me put my glasses on so I can actually see. So 5.5. And it's not a really thick paper, so you only need to score lightly. And then I'm going to score it at 11, but to make that easier I'm just going to turn it round and score it at 1 here, rather than take the arm out on the trimmer. There we go. And that's all the scoring, so I can put my trimmer away. I just checked that I had it upside down then, I wasn't quite sure. So I'm going to find where that 5.5-inch fold is. It's difficult to see on the little wood grain piece. And I'm going to make it so that the wood grain is on the top and just fold it down there. You probably don't need to use a bone folder on it. And you can if you want to. Okay, and then, whoops, and then on the front, I have this 1-inch score. And can you see how it's longer than the back of the paper? So we know that's where we need to fold it. And this gives us just a really nice little contrast colour. I'm just going to fold that like that just to make it level. I've got it, whoops, I've got it just a little bit on an angle there that I don't want. Let me just go down with my bone folder. There we go. Had it just a tiny bit skew with. Okay. So the next thing you need is just a little strip of card. And if you're making your pictures or your images in the pale papaya, I would use pale papaya. Or you can use the green. I'm going to use fresh freesia because it matches these tiny little flowers. And it's just a 1 inch by 4 inch strip. And it fits inside that little fold. And you can just tuck it out a tiny bit so you've got just a little bit of an edge showing. So just a little contrast. You can make this as wide as you want. If you want a wider contrasting piece on it, now you can do that too. But I just like a little tiny piece. And let's glue this down. I'm only going to glue one side to start with. Oops, let's just open that up. I'm going to put it nearly to the middle. Just line up the top and the bottom. I want a little bit more than that. I don't want very much there. That's going to be a perfect amount. So now I can put glue on this side. And I have used this template a few times. So I've used it for classes and I've used it for all sorts of occasion cards. Let me just show you. These are 2 that I've made before using the same one. And you see how on this one I left a little bit more of the Night of Navy contrast showing than I have on this one. And then I put a little card layer inside, and then a basic white one with my design. And then this one I made with the hydrangea paper from last year. And again, I've put a slightly wider piece of card there. And a card inside. So you can decorate them however you like. I just like to be able to see the designer series paper. And it's such pretty paper that really, why wouldn't you want to see all of it? Okay, so I'm going to leave that piece to dry. And you're going to need 2 pieces of basic white cardstock. And I'm using these contour dies, the scalloped contour dies. And I'm going to use like the second and the third one from the outside. They're sort of the same shape. One's got small dots, one's got like stitched on, but I want these 2 pieces. So one is going to go in the front and one is going to go inside. The smaller one is going on the front. So I've got one here, and this larger one is going to go inside. So all I need to do is find a little piece of scrap paper, because when I stamp the small one, it will go over, and I just don't want to stamp on my main pad. So I've got the fresh freesia, because that's my accent colour, and I've taken the largest flower stamp from the stamp set. So that's this one. The other one I'm using is this, and I'm going to use the Thank You for my sentiments. So my pad's quite dry, and because it's a distinctive stamp, I find that that's best. If it's too wet, you don't always get the distinction of colours. You will get the very edges a little bit darker, and you can see that on the stamp. They look a little bit darker. So don't think that you've stamped too hard or anything. It is meant to be like that. Okay. Okay, so that's all I need for that one. For the big one, I'm going to get the small one. Oh, actually, I'll do my sentiment first so I know where that sits. And I've got my Memento black for this. And I want it to go in the top where that nice white space is. There we go. That's all of that stamping. And now I can put just a little bit, just a little touch of these flowers on. So let's have a look. I'm not putting much on, just over the corner. Okay. And then I'm still using that same stamp for the inside, but I'm going to stamp all of it just in a corner, just so that it matches. And then I'm going to do the same with my envelope. I'm just going to do that same little corner stamp. Oh, I don't think that's the envelope I want. That one looked too big, so let's open some new ones. the arrow open at the end. Okay. I think that was an envelope from a Memories and More pack that I was using earlier. And those cards are 4x6. So I knew it felt a little bit bigger. Okay. So all I'm going to do is just that in the very corner. I'm not putting anything else on it. But if you wanted to use more designer series paper, you could certainly do the back of the envelope flap with more. Okay, so we've got all our stamping. Let's pop that over to one side. I don't need the scrap piece anymore. What I do need is some of the new ribbon. And it's a frayed ribbon that's 3/4 of an inch. It's a little bit like the Blushing Bride ribbon that we had at Christmas. That sort of frayed look to it, except it's much wider. And I only need a small piece. I've got one piece cut off already, but I know that really that's too much because I'm only going to put some just at this left-hand side. And to fray it, all you do, it's so simple. You just pull this edge. And can you see how it's unfraying? Unfraying, is that a word? It's fraying, it's undoing. Okay, now let me see how much I want sticking out. I want a little bit more. Okay, and then I'm going to cut this long piece off, but I'm keeping these pieces because, let me just cut this off and then you can see what I'm doing. Okay, this is almost, it's a little bit more fragile, but it's almost like a baker's twine, and you could tie bows with this. So it's a bit kinky. So all you do is run your finger down it and it straightens it out a lot more. So I'm saving that for bows for later. And then this little piece is going to go over at the left-hand side. And can you see, we don't need all of that. So I'm going to chop a piece off because that will do for another card. And you see how it's starting to fray quickly. I'm going to pop this down with my tear and tape. Just going to sort of line it up to where I think I want that to go. Just over here. I might even just undo a tiny bit more. Let's find the edge again. Oops. There we go. Just that tiny little bit. Okay, so I'm going to put it about here. And I'm going to put my tear and tape here. Now, nobody will see this because it's going to be covered over by your stamped image there. But it will just help to hold that down. Whoops, knocked my ruler off the table. Sorry about that. That made you jump. Okay, I'm going to trim that little edge again. And because I know it frays really easily, I'm going to put another little piece of tear and tape, and I'm just going to put it over the edge. So it just catches the bottom of it there. Let's take this off. There we go. I don't need any more of that. And then on the back of here, to make it stick onto the card, I'm just going to use some dimensionals. And I'm putting some right near the edge so that it covers those frayed pieces. And I'll take the backings off. Okay, oopsie, still a little backing on there. And I'm going to just split that out a little bit while I decide where this is going to be. I want to see a little bit of this right-hand side paper and a little bit of my frayed ribbon, but I do want to make sure that that's in a straight line. Yeah, it is. Okay. And then I'm using the polished dots that are also new in the catalogue. They're with the Symbols of Fortune stamp set. And there's stamps and dies and beautiful designer series paper. And I'm just going to put some of these on. It's not going to come off with that, so I'm going to use the pink ones this time. Oops. They don't want to come off very easily. I'm going to pop 3 in this little centre of this little flower over here. And then I'm just going to put 2 over here, because the way I've stamped it, there are just 2 little centres showing. Oops, where did it go? There it is. Stuck on the end of my finger. There we go. And if you wanted, you could certainly add more of the little polished dots. Move a few round. I'm going to put mine a bit tighter together actually on there. I think I like that better where they're tighter together. And then on the inside, I'm just going to use the other piece that we stamped. Put the glue all the way around the edge. Pop that on the inside here. And just make sure that it's level and evenly spaced. There we go. And there we are. That's my quick and easy little card. I love this ribbon. And I do like this paper as well. This looks such a nice contrast on here. And then just this little tiny edge of the other side of the paper just makes it pop out. So there we are. That's my quick and easy little card for today. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you lots more in the new year with different cards, all from the new catalogue, but some mix and match as well, so that we'll use little pieces from the new catalogue and some from the annual catalogue. So thanks again, everybody. I'll see you all again really, really soon. Bye-bye.